Hello, guys. Today is April the 22nd, 2025. Once again, today is April the 22nd, 2025. It's actually evening, obviously. But yeah, guys, I finished up the editing the World Constitution, the Treaty of the Americas, the Constitution of the Caribbean Community, and the Constitution of NATO about a week ago. So, and I did promise I was going to get back at you guys. I was going to give you guys an update a few days later, or I might have inferred a week later or so. But yeah. So I'm done with editing for the most part. If I do tweak the documents a bit between now and later, when it's time for them to be officially enacted and ratified, then I'm going to do so. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure they are as perfect as they could possibly be, without any additional information sent our way. So if anything else comes up that we have not, meaning the Central Intelligence Agency and Interpol, have not encountered before, or had to ponder on, or had to research on, or take a bit more seriously than general information, or the generality of information, then tweaking this and that might be appropriate. If that's necessary, then that's what I'm going to do. So my colleagues, they do send me over recommendations and this and this and that, and I do take it seriously, and I do make the right decision as to what I should implement within, what sort of feedback I should implement within my editing job. All right. So yes, I wrote everything on my own. I edited everything on my own, and the other works I've written, I did everything on my own. The conceptualization, the drafting, the transcribing, the typing, the publication, everything. I did everything on my own. I trained for many years to be able to get that done on my own. I was tested as a kid, and I was tested as a kid, and it was concluded that I do have an exceptional IQ. And with my exceptional IQ also comes what you can make note of when it comes to me. What you can make note of, beside being of a high IQ, or being well educated as a supplement, or as maybe even a necessity. What you can note of me is that my background, my international background, I was born overseas. I moved to the United States mainland when I was a kid. I did live in Canada for about 6 months. I did live in Puerto Rico before we moved to the mainland. I did live in Aruba. I lived in Antigua and Barbuda, and I was born in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Once again, I was born in the Commonwealth of Dominica, not in the Dominican Republic, in the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I lived a year in Antigua and Barbuda. I lived a year in Aruba. I lived a few months in Puerto Rico as a kid. And then we moved to the mainland, United States, when I was about 13, 14 years old. And when I guess I might have been about 35 years old or so. Let me see, about 33 years old. I think I might have been about 32 or 33 years old when I moved to Canada for 6 months as part of a work assignment, per a work assignment with the Central Intelligence Agency and Interpol as a partnership. Okay, so I've lived throughout the hemisphere, and I've studied all relevant political, social, and economic elements of diplomacy on an international level. Once again, on an international level, regarding the entirety of the world, I have studied what are most fundamental, to the political, social, and economic constraints and systems of every sector of this planet, in all honesty. You know, so over the past few months, I did put on some weight. When I was at the last address, I might have been about 195 pounds to 205 pounds. Now I might be about 215 pounds. I'm gonna get back to about 195. That's my typical weight. It's been that for ever since 2016 or 17. Yeah, ever since 2016, I've been about 195. You know, I put on enough weight to be able to. I cannot be to be completely compatible with certain elements of my work. To be completely compatible, and this has nothing to do with anything criminal. This has nothing to do with anything questionable whatsoever. All right. So, but yeah, I did put on weight, and it was part of my job, and it's part of my job to be able to keep the weight to about 195. I can get up to 200 or just over 200, but for the most part, I found it ideal to be at about 195 pounds. You know, so that's not going to change. All right, guys. So I know I look like a panda bear to some of you guys now, compared to what I used to look like. You know, but anyway. So I have been writing over the past 5 years. I've been writing damn near on a daily basis without taking a break. This is literally the first time I'm considering taking a break from writing on a daily basis. But I'm still, you know, my schedule is that I'm going to write 500 to 1,000 words a day regarding my memoir on a daily basis. If I take a break every once in a while, a day break, then so be it. You know, I'm exhausted, but I still do wake up and I have enough energy to write another 500 words, another 1,000 words if my body does not yell out, take a break, you know? So, I literally went 4.5 years, almost 5 years without taking a break. I had to write up a lot of work reports. Then I focused on work papers, and then I got to the documents. I started out in having to not rewrite, but in having to edit and reframe the new society's concepts and apperceptions of an Eastern Caribbean model of commonality. After I was done in 2021 with reframing it, it became the new society's concepts and political apperceptions of an Eastern Caribbean model of commonality. So ever since 2020, 2021, I've been working on a daily basis, writing and editing and researching, writing and editing, and so forth on a daily basis. And I did not take a break whatsoever. All right, so that's it. But I'm gonna keep working. Very, very soon I'm gonna get back to making music. And while, you know, finishing up my memoir. You know, I don't have to focus on the documents anymore and the work reports and the work papers. I'm gonna get back to making music. I would say by July, August, I'll have a home studio in Kissimmee and everything right next to, it might be part of the home office, but possibly right next to the home office. And I should be able to get back to music. I'm going to focus on popular music. I'm going to be a bit more discreet than I was as a younger person. I had no other choice as a younger person. I was in college. I needed to pay off as much expenses as possible. But now I'm comfortable enough to be able to be a bit picky. So I'm going to focus on popular music for the most part. And I promise you, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know why my brother said that someone thought that I was going to run back to Jamaica because I cannot do, as if I'm from Jamaica. But anyway, as if I cannot be president of the Caribbean community and have my secondary job. My contract with the Caribbean community states that if I've done, it communicates that if I've done much of my work in advance, then I can work in secondary stuff, which do not disparage the Caribbean community or the diplomacy of the Caribbean community and so forth. And yes, Florida is going to become a special member of the Caribbean community very soon. So things work out. I'm not going to move to the Caribbean. I'm going to be right here in Florida. I've done a lot of work. I'm exhausted on behalf of the United States government and on behalf of the Caribbean community in becoming integrated with the United States and so forth. It's for a better world, not just for the Caribbean community, but for the hemisphere, for the United States people, also the American people. It's for a better world. That's the kind of politics that we are going to invest in the future, no matter whether you like it or not. Okay? That's that because it's for a better world. It provides a better world to your kids and your grandkids and your great grandkids. That's the reason why. No other reason. All right. So security purposes, human development purposes, diplomacy purposes, economic purposes, socialization purposes, the project of Americana, for so many reasons, positive reasons. Okay, guys? So, yeah. So, yeah, I should be able to make a lot of music with new artists who are going to be, top charting, Billboard charting. I guess that's how you say it. I don't know. But anyway, I don't want you guys saying anything crazy. Okay? But anyway, I'm going to be working with a lot of new artists. Folks who are going to be at the top of the charts and the Billboard charts. And I'm pretty sure for talented individuals, I'm going to do, I will be able to work with some of the older artists I've worked with in the past. Whether they believe it or not, I don't know anymore. But anyway, all right. So, and guys, I've never been a junkie musician. I've never been a drug addict. I've never been a drunkard. I've never been a jailbird. I've never been convicted of any crime whatsoever. I'm not going to be convicted of any crime as it stands. Hip-hop does not relegate a person to automated or mandated criminality. I don't want you guys getting a false impression whatsoever. All right? So, you guys can let that go. You guys can look at whatever fake photo you want to look at. You can look at the fake photos. There's so many fake photos out there. I was surprised myself. But whatever. You can look at the fake photos and believe whatever you want to believe. But I'm telling you straight from the individual you might be addressing right now. I don't know. All right, guys. So I'm not lying to you guys. What I just told you guys is the truth, everything. And not just for the most part. I sometimes I say for the most part, that's just colloquial saying. That's just vernacular. Well, not even a vernacular. It's just colloquial saying. But yeah, in all honesty, I'm telling you guys the truth. Okay? All right. Have a great evening, guys. The Pope's funeral is going to be on Saturday. I might watch a bit of that, a segment or two on that particular event. And then, that's life, man. It was staged, but whatever, I wish him well, but that's life. The funeral, and then the United States prepares for a new world, a new beginning. All right, have a nice night.